From the study so far, we conclude that the people who prohibited and the people who allowed the mut'ah of the Hajj are as follows. Those who prohibited: Omar ibn al-Khattab, Abdullah ibn al-Zubayr, Urwa ibn al-Zubayr, Abu Bakr, Uthman, al-Dhahhak ibn Qais. And those who allowed it: Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Jabir ibn Abdullah, Imran ibn Hussein, Asma the daughter of Abu Bakr, Abi bin Ka'b, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and Abdullah ibn Umar. For the mut'ah of the marriage, those who prohibited were Umar ibn al-Khattab, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, Abdullah ibn Umar, Rabi' bin Sabra and his father, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abdullah ibn Abbas. And those who allowed it: Abdullah ibn Abbas, Jabir ibn Abdullah, Imran ibn Hussein, Amr bin Hurayth, and Rabi' bin Umayyah. As you would have noticed, there are big contradictions, and these contradictions would get even bigger if we include the uncommon narrations of these 9 books. However, we didn't do that, and we only took the prominent narrations and left out the exceptions. The big contradictions, as you would have noticed, is the claim that Imam Ali and Ibn Abbas have narrated the prohibition of mut'ah. The opinion of Imam Ali and Ibn Abbas in support of the mut'ah and their rejection of Umar's prohibition is very evident to everyone who is free from the Umayyah influence. This is very evident when the big argument took place between Ibn Zubayr and Ibn Abbas, where Ibn Zubayr threatened Ibn Abbas with stoning if he did temporary marriage. This was narrated in Sahih Muslim under the chapter of temporary marriage. It is also very evident from the reading of Ibn Abbas for verse 424, which he maintained. He read as, "For the pleasure you obtained from them to a specified period of time, pay them their reward as an obligation." 424, Tafsir al-Qurtubi. The prominent saying of Imam Ali that these Sahih books try to hide was mentioned in Tafsir al-Tabari, al-Nayshaburi, Fakhr al-Razi, Abi Hayyan, and al-Durr al-Manthur, that he said, "Lawla anna Umar naha anil mut'a ma zana illa shaqi." Translation: if Umar did not prohibit mut'a, then no one would commit zina except the very evil. These Sahih books also worked to hide the famous event where Omar made a sermon and claimed the responsibility of prohibiting the 2 mut'ahs very honestly, removing all doubts that the Prophet prohibited them. In the sermon he said, "Innahuma mut'atani kanata ala ahdi Rasulillah wa ana uharrimuhuma wa ana u'aqibu alayhima." Translation: they were 2 mut'ahs at the time of the Prophet, and I prohibit them and I punish on them. This was mentioned in Tafsir al-Razi, Sharh Ma'ani al-Athar, Sunan al-Bayhaqi, Bidayat al-Mujtahid. The closest you would find to this hadith in the 9 Sahih books is a version which omits the last part, where Omar says, "I forbid them and I punish on them." It's in Musnad Ahmad, hadith number 347. You can find it in the website. Abi Nadra said to Jabir, "Abdullah ibn Abbas legalizes mut'ah and Ibn Zubayr prohibited." Jabir replied, "It all happened in my presence. We did mut'ah with the Prophet." Then Affan said, "And also with Abu Bakr." But when Omar became Khalifa, he went on the pulpit and he gave a sermon and said, "The Qur'an is the same Qur'an, and the Prophet is the same Prophet, and they were 2 mut'ahs in the time of the Prophet. One of them the mut'ah of the Hajj, and the other one the mut'ah of the woman. The narrations that claim the prohibition of mut'ah are not only conflicting in their contents and timing, but also in a direct conflict with the famous opinions of those who allegedly narrated them. A lot of these narrations were claimed to have been through Imam Ali, and the common factor between most of these narrations is Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, who was an agent for the Umayyad government for many years. Due to the extremity of the conflict in the timing of these narrations, some of the latest scholars like Muslim were forced to say that the Prophet allowed mut'ah at the start of Islam and let the people do it for many long years. Then in the last 2 or 3 years of his life, he made it haram. Then again he turned around and allowed it. And finally again he turned around and made it haram. If this claim was true, then how can we explain the saying of Ibn Omar when asked about temporary marriage? He got very angry and said, "We were not fornicators in the Prophet's time." Musnad Ahmad 5546. Does he accuse those who practice mut'ah by the order of the Prophet of fornication? When you look, you will find great contradictions in these narrations. For example, they narrate from Ibn Abbas, who was known for permitting mut'ah and maintaining his position from its lawfulness. They narrate from him in Sunan al-Tirmidhi hadith 1041 that he said, mut'ah was at the start of Islam until the verses 23:6 and 70:30 came down. Not only these verses have nothing to do with mut'ah, but also they were both revealed before the verse that legalized mut'ah. So how could they have abrogated the mut'ah verse 424, which was revealed after them? How could the earlier abrogate the later? If we ignore the timing and assume that this claim is true, then we would ask, how many times did this abrogating verse come down? If only once, then why do they say that mut'ah was first allowed, then prohibited, then allowed again, then prohibited again? Did the verse come down, then went up, then come down, then went up again? And the strange thing is that they sometimes try to divert the meaning of the verse 424 from the temporary marriage and claim that it's talking about permanent marriage, then inconsistently claim that 23:6 or 70:30 have abrogated 424. So if 424 is not talking about temporary marriage, why would it need any abrogation? Did 23:6 and 70:30 abrogate permanent marriage? Now we show you these conflicting narrations. Notice the name of Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri and the occasion of the alleged prohibition and the person allegedly prohibiting. Some said it was prohibited in Hujjat al-Wada', and some said in Fath Makkah or the year of Autas, and some said in Khaybar, and some said in the Battle of Hunain, and some said in Umrat al-Qada'. This is why later scholars like Muslim and some others came to explain all these contradictions. So they said the mut'ah was allowed, then forbidden, then allowed again, then forbidden again. You will see that he designated a chapter with this title in Sahih Muslim. It's called Temporary Marriage, and showing that it was allowed, then abrogated, then allowed, then abrogated again. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.